Hi, I'm Brian Adams, and this is Monster Skull, and this is part 2 of the making of Monster Skull, where you can see how he was actually put together. Let's take a look at the video. This one shows you the base of the skull, and you can see the head stick there. This is the front view looking at it. This is the bottom part. I'm filling it in with paper. You can see the epoxy has been applied all the way around the head. This is the next level that I started building, and it took forever to add on any more to it. This would be the inside of his face, and I wanted to back up and explain this to you. When Monster Skull was made, the eye sockets were just paper, and then it was built up with fiberglass resin and teriyaki sticks to give support. I was adding, I was building up the side of the face. There was fiberglass that got built up over here. There was a cavity, a pocket here below the eye socket. So I was good with that because that gave extra strength. Putting the eyes in, technically you're supposed to put a drill hole in the center and make the eyes, make it come down, and to be able to bolt this with a nut somewhere. What I found was it screwed into the top part and it screwed into the eyes, so the eyes would stay positioned. Put another nut on the top to keep it locked, because once you put these two nuts together, it wouldn't allow this to move anywhere. This is the height it would stay. So that way the eye was screwed in to the wood because of the way I drilled it. So it actually, the eye stayed right where it was supposed to be, and the screw stayed right where it was, and it wouldn't lift up because the threads actually screwed into this cavity area down here, through here, and it locked everything. So with the screws, with the nut at the top of the eyes going in, and the eyeballs being right here, and the screws going through the fiberglass into the eyeballs, screwing into this on both sides. Everything was working great. Now what you have to do is, on the eyeball itself, you have to drill a little hole here and here, and what you're doing is you put a piece of metal that basically goes in, over, and down. So I had to drill a hole here and here on the side of the eye socket. So this little piece is about 1/16 of an inch thick piece of wire. Well, it's a metal rod, it's a steel rod. It was 1/16 of an inch. The steel rod, 1/16 of an inch, could fit into this eye and this eye, and so when it moves, it keeps the eyes in sync. So when you do that, you want to make sure that when you're looking at the eyes, you want to make sure that it looks straight. And once you get that spacing of what looks straight to you, you drill the holes into the doll eyes and or doll heads, and you put those down in there into the eyes, and so when it moves back and forth, that keeps it in sync. It will work. The next thing you do is, when you get doll eyes, in the back of it there is a little hole. That little hole that's in the back, let me draw you another diagram. This is the eye that you painted on there. In the back there's a hole. This is just showing, like, you know, breakaway. This would be in the center of the eye. So if you look at my Oliver videos, they'll show you pretty much. I'll try to post that in here. A spring, not this side. This is the only spring I have, and I'm doing a sketch. A spring actually fits into the back here. It's much smaller than this, so this loop isn't that big. A spring actually fits into the eye and it comes out, and what happens is you're using basswood that goes from this spring fits into. I'll draw a diagram of that, and it goes to the other eye doing the same exact thing, so that when the eyes move from side to side with the basswood, which would be connected to the eye mechanism, the spring can move in this fashion and keep the eyes in sync and allow for movement. A piece of basswood, I covered that in my Oliver video. Like I said, I'll try to put that up. And then you take a piece of wire, which is also in my Oliver, the operation of Oliver, and you're taking the wire and you're running it through the basswood. You're wrapping it around on both sides. You're going to take a pair of pliers to wrap it around, and you're leaving this U-shape opening, because what happens is the mechanism for the eyes is going to come up, which is a brass rod, is going to slip right in here, and you're going to actually put like a piece of plastic on it, and that's going to keep, this thing is going to move back and forth to make the eyes move back and forth. But that's also on my operation of Oliver. Yes, it will work. See the back. Be the lower jaw. This is how it started. It was a piece of metal, building it up with fiberglass resin. Here the epoxy has been applied to the outside to start giving the shape to the lower part of the jaw. So you can see there up at the top with the round parts, those were actually never used. I was getting an idea, I found out it was just better to just make them out of paper and use 1/16 inch metal to glue onto the paper and fiberglass it and epoxy and build the teeth out. And as you can see there, there was a little bit of shaping there so that they would come out the way I want it to. I would fiberglass them each side and let them dry, build them up, and this is his first front two teeth. All he wanted for Christmas. Here you can see the teeth are being added, and a little bit more of a smile has been added to them. And the jaw is just being held there for this photo. Lining up the upper teeth and the lower teeth. Badly drawn, but this would be the front of the skull. This would be the back base of the skull where the jaw would line up with on the side of the head. And 1/8 inch rod through the jaw had to go into the skull at the base. It has to come up, do this U shape here, because this is what you're going to attach your string to be able to pull and close, as well as your spring to be able to open and close the jaw. And then when the metal comes back out here, it's a good idea on both, but I didn't do that with Monster Skull. I just on one side took that metal and I bent it alongside the skull. Once this was completed, I fiberglassed over it to make it strong on both sides so that you wouldn't even see. This is the jaw on the outside, and this is the teeth, of course. This is showing you the overall inside the head. On the back here, I actually put an eye hook, and here is the spring, the rod that comes out of the jaw. That's in the U shape, and that spring is attached to this rod, which pulled the jaw in position. Also on that rod, there is a string tied to it. Actually, it's a wick. It's like a candle wick is what I use. The candle wick is tied to that, goes up. They're the wooden rod. Check out the operation of Oliver Part 8. That will explain a lot of the wooden dowels and stuff. So they're the wooden dowel that goes across his head from side to side with a little wheel. It's actually used for like screen doors. And that wheel, the string goes up and around, down and into the head stick and goes to the trigger. And also in operation of Oliver, the difference between what he has and the new trigger that I had made, which is actually better than what Monster Skull has. But I'll try to cover that here in the video. Hey, if you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.